Okay, so hello Baishali, welcome to OTV and congratulations on being appointed as policy officer at the United Nations.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for speaking with
So,
me.
so from Puri to Bhubaneswar to Delhi to London, how has been your journey so far and how did you lean into policy making?
My journey has been full of ups and downs, like many other people, I guess. But it seems like it's been such a long journey. Um, so when I was a child, I was kind of very interested in world affairs. I used to regularly watch BBC and all these international news, and that sort of fascinated me a lot. And thanks to my parents and actually who was in journalism, and I was very very interested in that. So after 10th, I decided that I'm going for international relations as my for as an option for my further studies. So when I went to get international school after Blessed Sacrament High School in Puri, I made it a point to prepare for my entrances in Delhi University in Lady Shri Ram College, which, as we know, is the best college in the country for humanities. And I didn't really think I'll make it because I was doing science, but somehow it happened. They have a very high cutoff and all of that, and that sort of oriented me towards international relations a lot more. And policy making in specific was something that I always wanted to delve into because I want to understand how decisions are made at every level and that sort of impacts common people.
How did you get into UN? Did you crack any exam or?
So when I was in Oxford and I was doing a specific course where again there were like 20 odd seats and it was also something that I never thought I would get through. I applied for LSE and other colleges as backup, but I got to Oxford and then I got much more oriented into diplomacy and policy making. So then after I sort of decided or I thought that UN is a place I want to work in. So generally, what happens is you start from an internship. So you go for an internship after your master's, and then you gradually get into the system by a rigorous process, like an exam. You have written tests, you have interviews, a lot of stuff. But somehow it happened because I did a lot of internships while I was studying in Delhi
Okay.
and I was working with my professors a lot. So I got directly into it. I gave the exam for a specific position and I got through. I was working with UNICEF first in the regional sphere and then the UN mission in Bangladesh and elsewhere. So, yeah.
You have always belonged to a family of achievers. I mean, your mother has been an eminent activist, your father has been an ex-chief engineer and IIT alumni. Tell us their roles in making you reach where you are today. How have they been your inspiration?
Well, honestly, I think all of what you see today is it's all because of them. My parents and my uncle, my family, the three musketeers in my life. And I know as a kid, when I was struggling to figure out, okay, what I need to do, what do I really want to pursue as a career. I saw other parents, some of them saying that, okay, you're good at this, you need to do this, you need to do that. And my parents were the ones who never told me what I need to do. They were like, we will give you enough opportunity, open the Pandora box for you, and you decide what you want to do. It's your decision. And I think that's a great, great thing for a parent. And they trusted me with everything. They said, be honest with your work really hard, and be good at what you do and enjoy it. I think the fact that they said you need to enjoy your work and you need to see what impact you're making in people's lives, it's very important. And my mother, someone I have always been in awe of, I've seen her work at the very grassroots level. So it's been a journey with all of them. I think my whole family has really traveled with me.
As far as your work is concerned, since 2018, you have been working in UN mission for Rohingyas on Myanmar and Bangladesh border, where over 10 lakh Rohingyas refugees are being taken care of by the UN. what I want to ask you is about your personal opinion about how important you think the issue of Rohingya crisis is.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very pertinent question. That's something I've been trying to really highlight amongst my peer groups. So, in Cox's Bazar, it's the world's largest refugee camp, literally.
Yes.
And UN's biggest mission is here, where, as you rightly said, 10 lakh people are provided with food, shelter, everything. And Bangladesh is to host all of them. So I think it's not just a country specific issue or a regional issue. It's a global issue, and it's a situation where we need to really evoke in nations, in people, the empathetic side of them, and prod the global leaders to really come together and find a solution. Listening to their stories, just hearing what they've gone through, and still the resilience that they have, it's just amazing. It's immense. And I just wanted to give an example. Like earlier, when I used to give exams, I was like, oh, this is the end of the world for me. I can't do this and all of that. And my parents used to tell me, no, work hard and you can do it. And here I see there are women, there are children, there are men who have gone through just horrifying incidents which I can't even fathom, and literally so. So I think it's important for all of us to really think about them.
So, okay, for our viewers, Vaishali is also the founder of Oxford Odissi Center, that promotion and training of Odissi dance in England. What I want to ask you is, from Puri to Delhi to Oxford, there has been a continuous change in cultural environment around you. So, what was the driving factor to come up with Oxford Odissi Center?
So Odissi has been again how my parents have been a part of my journey, my family. I have always been tuned to Odissi, and thanks to my mother who actually got me into Odissi. And though I had to travel a lot for my studies, I tried to remain connected to Odyssey in whichever form. I went to Oxford. I realized it's such a culturally rich place where people from across the globe are coming, admissions, activists, everyone is there. So there is a great platform for Odyssey to sort of be used as a cultural medium. And so that's where the idea germinated. Just me starting some classes with people who were interested because they saw me performing somewhere, and I never thought it will come up as an organization where we will be able to do performances and promote the dance form and the culture so vibrantly. But I'm just glad that it happened. We got a lot of support from the professors, the entire student community, and of course the Nehru Center, the Indian High Commission in London helped a lot. So the first show, in fact, was with Padma Shri awardee Guru Ilyana Chitarasti, and so it was a huge success. And for the first time, Odissi was being presented there, and it was received so well. So it's continuing ever since, and we have expanded a lot, and I'm still very much rooted in it. So just so glad that it happened and it happened the way it did.
So, what is the next step forward as a policy officer, and what message would you like to share with young professionals, especially in Odisha, who are interested in this field?
Well, I think as a policy officer, a policy maker, I would really want to continue to work with anyone. And my focus would be to integrate the perspectives at the very grassroots level. As I said, that's been my research focus as well. I really believe in a bottom-up approach to development and to peacemaking. So I would try my best to integrate those perspectives, and that's why working here in Cox's Bazar is so much, so important, so vital. And to everyone out there, I would say, it's very important to sort of understand where you are interested, where your interest lies. It might not be always the ones that your friends are interested in, or somebody is telling you that, okay, this is where your interest lies. It's a hard task, and I'm not saying that all at once at the age of 18 you will be like, okay, this is what I want to do. Of course not. But give yourself that freedom, give yourself that opportunity, and to all the parents as well. If possible, let your kid breathe and let your kid have that, trust in himself or herself to sort of take that step forward. You might be a photographer, you might be a dancer, you might be anything, but if you enjoy it and you're really passionate, you can be really good at it. You don't have to be what your friends are trying to be. And that's very important. And for people who are interested in humanitarian sector, lastly,
Yeah.
it, it's a great encouragement, and it's amazing to be here and to be able to help people in whichever manner possible. I'm sure that whoever jumps in will find it immensely satisfying.